Check out the latest highlights from the Nourishing You podcast.
You know, there are some people that tend to, I would just say like some women who tend to bond easier with their babies than other women, and some that seem to have more of that sixth sense of how to bond with their kids. And I just wonder if that's a genetic component or not having enough oxytocin to begin with that makes a difference. I don't know, but it seems like you definitely see differences in people, and some people that just crave hugs all the time. And when you see them, they're going to want a hug. And then, other people are like, oh no, they're not right. Yeah. They're not a hugger.
Yeah. So and the long huggers, the hug that like you go to let go and they're still like, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think with mothers, I think you have to feel somewhat safe for oxytocin to make its move. And so, as we know, like a lot goes into motherhood, a lot goes into the bonding experience. And so if you happen to have a traumatic birth, if you are not in a very safe environment or a safe relationship, if you are have postpartum depression, the other hormones are not doing so well, you're ridiculously sleep deprived, I know, which is normal, but even more so than you'd expected. I think your stress is really high. Some mothers, their stress is actually not that high. Other mothers are, circumstances are so that their stress is extremely high. So I think a lot of that tied in goes into bonding with the baby. Oxytocin plays a big role, but if you don't feel safe in your postpartum depression and you haven't slept in days, like, of course you're not going to feel bonded. You're just trying to survive. And I think that's the big key there.
If you enjoyed this short episode, check out our full library on our NAMP YouTube channel, where you can catch up or learn more. Keep in mind that the information on the NAMP podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered medical or legal advice. The NAMP is not liable or responsible for any harm, damage, or illness arising from the use of the information contained herein. By listening to the information on this podcast, you agree to defend, indemnify, and hold harmless the NAMP and all agents. Copyright NAMP, all rights reserved.